After more than 30 years, the magic returns. Just revealed, Pretty Woman 2 is on its way, and fans are already buzzing. Julia Roberts and Richard Gere reunite in a sequel that promises to bring back the romance, the charm, and the unforgettable chemistry that made the first film a worldwide classic back in 1990. Pretty Woman wasn't just another romantic comedy. It was a cultural moment. The film told the story of Vivian, a woman trying to find her way in the world, and Edward, a powerful businessman who never expected to find love in such an unlikely place. Together, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere created one of the most iconic love stories in cinema history. Their chemistry was electric, their story was timeless, and their characters became unforgettable. Audiences around the world fell in love with the film's mix of humor, heart, and fairy tale romance. Julia Roberts' performance as Vivian earned her global fame and cemented her status as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Richard Gere's Edward showed a softer, more human side to the world of wealth and power. The film went on to gross hundreds of millions at the box office, and for years it has remained a fan favorite, rewatched and rediscovered by new generations. What made Pretty Woman stand out was more than just the love story. It was the theme of transformation, how love can change not only how people see each other, but how they see themselves. Vivian discovered her worth and strength. Edward found a heart he didn't know he had. Together, they created a story that left audiences smiling, crying, and believing in love again. Since then, fans have often wondered, what happened to Vivian and Edward after the credits rolled? Did their romance survive the test of time? Did life's challenges pull them apart? Or did love conquer all? For years, those questions remained unanswered. Now, in 2025, Hollywood is finally giving fans a sequel. Pretty Woman 2 is more than just a film. It's a reunion, a return to characters who shaped an entire genre of cinema. The announcement alone has sparked excitement across social media. Old fans who grew up with the movie are reliving their nostalgia, while younger audiences are curious to see what makes this story so enduring. The film arrives at a unique moment in Hollywood. Sequels and reboots are everywhere, but few bring back the original stars after so many years. The fact that Julia Roberts and Richard Gere are both returning makes this project stand out even more. It's not just a sequel, it's a continuation of a love story that audiences already care deeply about. What's even more powerful is the emotional weight of seeing Roberts and Gere together again on screen. Their first film captured a moment in time. Los Angeles in the early 90s, the clash of two different worlds, and the spark of love. Now, decades later, audiences will get to see how those same characters have grown, changed, and lived. It's a rare opportunity to revisit a story with the same actors who brought it to life in the first place. The cultural legacy of Pretty Woman cannot be overstated. From its famous soundtrack featuring Roy Orbison's RBN, Oh Pretty Woman, to its memorable fashion moments like Vivian's red gown and Edward's sharp suits, the film influenced not only cinema, but also style, music, and pop culture at large. Quoted endlessly, rewatched endlessly, it became one of those rare films that lived on long after its box office run. Now, with Pretty Woman 2 confirmed, fans are asking one thing: will the sequel live up to the original? That's the challenge every sequel faces, but the early buzz suggests that this film isn't just a rehash. It's a heartfelt continuation. It's about bringing Vivian and Edward back, not as they were, but as they are now, older, wiser, and still connected by a love story that has defined generations. And so, the stage is set. The return of one of cinema's most beloved couples is no longer just a dream, it's happening. And as Hollywood prepares to welcome back Julia Roberts and Richard Gere in 2025, one thing is clear: the magic of Pretty Woman is far from over. The teaser opens with a sweeping shot of Los Angeles at dusk, the city lights glowing against the skyline. It feels instantly familiar, yet time has passed. The streets are older, the tone more reflective. A soft piano version of Oh Pretty Woman plays in the background, signaling to the audience that this is not just a return, but a reimagining of something iconic. Then we see her, Vivian, played once again by Julia Roberts. The camera lingers on her smile, still radiant but touched with the wisdom of years. She walks past a shop window, her reflection reminding audiences of that famous scene from decades ago. The teaser doesn't show her saying much, but her presence is enough to ignite nostalgia. Fans immediately know this is the Vivian they loved, grown and transformed, but still carrying the same charm. Next, the screen cuts to Edward, Richard Gere, looking out from the window of a sleek office tower. He is older, his hair now silver, but his presence still commanding. The teaser shows him stepping into a car, his face serious, his thoughts deep. There is no dialogue yet, just the sense that he too has been shaped by time. For longtime fans, the sight of Gere back in this role is a moment of pure cinematic magic. As the music builds, we see a series of quick flashes. Vivian walking through a busy street, Edward adjusting his tie before a big meeting, the two of them passing by each other in a crowded place, their eyes meeting for just a second. The teaser doesn't give away the plot, but it hints at what's to come. A reunion, a spark reignited, and the challenges of love in a new chapter of life. One shot shows Vivian laughing, surrounded by younger women, as if she has become a mentor figure. No longer just the dreamer, but now someone inspiring others. Another shows Edward in a boardroom, facing pressure from rivals, suggesting his career is at a turning point. The editing moves quickly, cutting between their worlds, making it clear that fate is about to bring them back together. Then comes the moment fans have been waiting for. The screen goes black, the music softens, and a familiar line echoes. So what happens after the fairy tale? It's Vivian's voice, filled with both hope and uncertainty. Immediately after, we see Edward turning toward her in a quiet restaurant, their eyes locking, and then cut to black. The teaser ends with the title card, Pretty Woman 2, 2025. Beneath it, the words appear, Love never fades. It only changes. The trailer doesn't reveal too much, but that's the beauty of it. It gives just enough to remind audiences of the magic of the original, while teasing a new story built on growth, maturity, and the enduring power of love. Fans are left with questions. Will Vivian and Edward rekindle their romance? What obstacles will they face after so many years apart? And can a love story born in the 90s still feel just as powerful in 2025? Social media reactions to the teaser have already been explosive. Clips of Roberts and Gere together again have gone viral, with fans calling it the reunion we didn't know we needed. Younger viewers, many of whom discovered Pretty Woman on streaming platforms, are eager to see how this new story unfolds. Critics are already predicting it will be one of the most talked about films of the year. With just a teaser, the film has reignited excitement, nostalgia, and curiosity. It promises to be more than a simple sequel. It's a continuation of a love story that defined an era, now given new life for a new generation. The true magic of the Pretty Woman 2 teaser isn't just the visuals or the music, it's the return of Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. For over 3 decades, their names have been forever linked to one of the greatest love stories in movie history. Seeing them together again on screen is more than casting. It's a cultural event. Julia Roberts, who first became a global star through Pretty Woman in 1990, has built a career filled with critically acclaimed roles and blockbuster successes. She became known as America's sweetheart, her smile and charm captivating audiences across the world. To see her return as Vivian, the character that made her a household name, is a moment fans never thought they would get. She brings not only nostalgia, but also the weight of experience, showing Vivian as a woman who has lived, grown, and evolved. Richard Gere, too, has carried the legacy of Edward for years. In the original film, he transformed the archetype of a cold, distant businessman into someone capable of change, capable of love. His quiet intensity and undeniable chemistry with Roberts created a romance that has stood the test of time. Now, at this stage in his career, Gere brings a new depth to the role. An older Edward, perhaps wiser, perhaps more vulnerable, but still unmistakably the same man audiences fell in love with. Together, Roberts and Gere represent a kind of star power rarely seen today. In an age where many films rely on visual effects and franchises, the simple act of bringing two iconic actors back together is enough to spark worldwide excitement. Their chemistry is not manufactured. It is lived in, proven, and deeply remembered by audiences who have cherished their story for decades. The audience reaction to their reunion has been overwhelming. Within hours of the teaser dropping, social media platforms were flooded with posts celebrating the return of the duo. Fans wrote messages like, "My heart just melted seeing them again," and "I never thought I'd see a Pretty Woman sequel, but I'm so glad it's happening." Hashtags like #PrettyWoman2 and #Julia and Richard trended across platforms, proving that the love for this story is still alive. Even younger audiences, many of whom discovered Pretty Woman through streaming services long after its original release, are excited. For them, Roberts and Gere are not just actors. They are cinematic legends returning to the roles that define them. The teaser has already created a bridge between generations. Parents who saw the original in theaters are now sharing the excitement with their children, eager to revisit the magic together. Critics and entertainment journalists have also taken notice. Early reviews of the teaser describe it as nostalgic yet fresh, a bold move in today's Hollywood, and a reunion that feels both surprising and inevitable. Some have pointed out that while many sequels struggle to capture the original spark, Pretty Woman 2 seems to have an advantage. It doesn't need to recreate chemistry, it only needs to continue it. Industry insiders are calling this one of the most anticipated romantic films in years. Studios have noticed the wave of excitement too, predicting that Pretty Woman 2 could dominate the box office when it releases in 2025. In a time when audiences crave both nostalgia and genuine emotional storytelling, this film appears to offer both. But beyond numbers, the true power of Roberts and Gere's reunion lies in its emotional weight. For millions, Pretty Woman wasn't just a movie, it was a memory. A memory of the first time they fell in love with cinema, of the first time they believed in fairy tale romance, or of the first time they saw themselves reflected in a love story. To bring back those feelings decades later is something no marketing campaign can manufacture. It is real, it is powerful, and it is why the world is buzzing. The teaser has done its job perfectly. It hasn't told the whole story, but it has reminded everyone why this sequel matters. Julia Roberts and Richard Gere are not just reprising roles. They are stepping back into the hearts of audiences who never stopped caring about Vivian and Edward. And as the excitement continues to build, one question now dominates every conversation. If the teaser looks this good, what surprises will the full trailer reveal? The teaser for Pretty Woman 2 has done what few trailers manage to do. It has stirred both nostalgia and curiosity in equal measure. For fans of the original, it feels like stepping back into a story they never wanted to end. For new audiences, it's an invitation to experience a love story that has already proven timeless. And for Hollywood, it's a reminder of the magic that happens when the right actors, the right story, and the right timing all come together. What makes this sequel different from so many others is not just that it continues a beloved film, but that it does so with its original stars intact. Julia Roberts and Richard Gere aren't just reprising characters, they're revisiting them as older, wiser versions of themselves. This is what gives Pretty Woman 2 its emotional depth. It isn't about retelling the past, but about showing how love, like people, evolves with time. The teaser left audiences with more questions than answers. Will Vivian and Edward's love survive after decades apart? What obstacles will test their bond now? And most importantly, what new lessons about love and life will this sequel bring to the screen? The film doesn't need to rely on spectacle. It relies on something far stronger: the emotional investment of millions who have carried this story in their hearts for over 30 years. In today's world of reboots and remakes, Pretty Woman 2 stands apart. It's not trying to replace the original, it's trying to honor it. The decision to bring Roberts and Gere back together is not just clever marketing. It's a promise to fans that this story matters. It's proof that some love stories never truly end. They simply wait for the right moment to continue. The buzz around the teaser has already shown how much the world is ready for this. Social media exploded within minutes of its release, and the entertainment press has been calling it one of the most anticipated films of 2025. For a generation that grew up quoting lines from the original, this sequel is a gift. For a new generation, it's a chance to experience that magic for the very first time. And now the countdown begins. With the official release set for 2025, fans around the globe are already circling the date on their calendars. The excitement will only grow as the full trailer arrives, and eventually when the lights dim in cinemas and the story continues on the big screen. But perhaps the most powerful thing this teaser has reminded us of is simple. Love stories endure. They don't fade with time, they deepen. And when Julia Roberts and Richard Gere step onto the screen once more, they're not just playing characters, they're continuing a legacy. So here's the question that lingers after the teaser fades to black. Will Pretty Woman 2 capture the same magic, the same joy, and the same heart that made the original unforgettable? Or will it surprise us with something entirely new? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. 2025 will be the year that Vivian and Edward walk back into our lives and the world will be watching. Stay tuned for more updates, breakdowns, and full trailer coverage as this story unfolds. Don't forget to like this video, share your excitement in the comments, and subscribe for the latest news on Pretty Woman 2. Because sometimes fairy tales don't end, they simply wait for their next chapter.